Israel in the Middle East, should not be tolerated by any country. Why are we accepting this? Why are we tolerating this? Why are people accepting the behavior of these entities? I still can't find a way around to phantom this. I still can't find a way around to sort of put my mind together and say, oh, this is why this is happening. This is why that is happening. All of them are just teaming up together because one country is supposedly Shia. So you're more interested in these primordial proclivities. You are more interested in this behavior, some of this attitude that has nothing to do with modern era. You're not strategic in your thinking. You're very emotional. Everything is about your emotions and your feelings. Everything revolves around your emotions, your feelings, and what can happen to you now, what can happen to your neighbor. And then you have big creators, Palestinian creators, celebrating the death of Khamenei. You have them giving the Israelis a talking point. You don't have Palestinians working hand in hand, shoulder to shoulder with the Israelis. You guys are on the same page. You say, okay, well, we don't like them. We don't want to hear the Israelis. We don't think the Israelis should help us do it, but they did it so well. So what? It is, and am I the only one talking about this? Am I the only one highlighting this? Am I the only one exposing people for doing this and the hypocrisy? Am I the only one torchlighting and highlighting what the behavior of some of these Arabs, forget about Arab countries, the behavior of some of these Arabs from Jordan? I've seen some people from Lebanon. I've seen some people, a lot of the Saudis are on board with this. A lot of the Emiratis are on board with this, and they are surprised that Iran is knocking down their buildings. They are surprised that the Iranians are fighting back. The UK said it's angry that Iran shot drones targeting its military base in Cyprus. Well, you own the base, but the Americans are docking there. The Israelis are docking there, and they have their assets there. It's a giant base, I think, in Ayanapa or in Limassol. So if you have your bases there and you're using that base as a launching pad against Iran, why are you surprised that they are fighting back? This is where the Israelis, because it is in a very strategic position, and the reason they are keeping it there again is not just because of Iran, it's because of Turkey. They are stretching their foot into the Mediterranean, using Cyprus, bringing Cyprus into the, and these guys are playing with fire because Cyprus is a, how do you call it? It's a sitting, Cyprus as an island is a sitting duck. If there's any eventuality of war in the region and Turkey is drawn in, Turkey will target Cyprus, Turkey will be targeted, Northern Cyprus will be targeted, the whole area will be burnt down. And there's no way to escape, there's no way out. Nobody can get out of this. This is the situation that President Trump have created. This is the same leader that told us that Obama was trying to start up war with Iran because he's weak, that Obama was trying to start up war with Iran because he doesn't know what he's doing, and that he is the master negotiator, that he's tougher than Obama. So he's trying to prove to us that he's tough. This doesn't make sense to me in any way, shape, or form. How have we found ourselves in this position? And people are celebrating, people are dancing, that Iran is being hit. How did we get to this point? How did we get to this point that people are dancing, jubilating, celebrating that Iran is being hit? We need to wake up. This is not a joke anymore. And if you look at what is going on right now, it's the whole, everything is just burning up. Everything is burning up at this point. Things are completely out of control. And if President Trump was looking for control, well, now you have it. There's no sort of control at this point. Things have spiraled completely out of control. And let's look at what the international media is saying about what is going on. We're going to look at it one after the other. What is the international media saying? Trump dismisses negative polling on Iran attack. Well, this is the same thing we said about, you see all these people dancing on the internet and some of his people telling him we have to do this, and Senator Lindsey Graham and all these Congress guys encouraging him to go to war. President Trump himself said that he's not going to do it, and now he's doing it because he believes that it's going to be easy. The same Iranian people you said you are fighting for have now turned against you. The same Iranian people that you said you're fighting for, we see them, millions of them, torn out during the burial of Khamenei and members of his family that you unalived. In the lead up to midterms, if President Trump was looking for any gift to himself and to whoever wants to come after him, this is a catastrophe. He wants to show himself as the guy that prevented Iran from having nukes. Iran is going to come out of this destroyed. They are going to rebuild their country and they are going to go back again. You can't treat people like that. And if you dare claim that you want to take over the country, put your boots on the ground, put your money where your mouth is. President Trump said he doesn't care about public opinion surveys as he defended the new war in the Middle East. US President Donald Trump have dismissed polls indicating that majority of Americans disapprove of his decision to attack Iran. The CNN poll suggests that 60% of Americans do not support the initial US-Israeli strikes on Iran on Sunday, while a Reuters poll indicates that only 1 in 4 Americans approve of the attack. I think that the polling is very good. That's what it's claiming. But I don't care about polling. I have to do the thing. This should have been done a long time ago. Trump told the New York Post in an interview published on Monday, look, whether polling or not, polling is low or not, the polling is probably fine, but it's a question of polling. You cannot let Iran, who is a nation that has been run by crazy people, have a nuclear. Like, this is the point they are making. The Iranians have made it very clear from the beginning. This is what they are trying to get. And let me tell you what really happened with the taking out of Khamenei. Now he's an old man, he's in his 80s, and then he's been in power for a long time, for quite a long time. And they were having this meeting in, I think in Geneva, Switzerland, brokered by Oman, direct talks between America and Iran. This has not really happened in a long time. They were talking directly. And the Iranians left the meeting on Thursday feeling that they have made some sort of progress. And they wanted to take back some of the documents so that the supreme leader can look at. And so he wants to stay in his house. Some of his people told him, look, we have to take you out of this place. It's not safe. He said, no, I want to stay in my office. You guys want to put me underground. I'm not going to accept it. If you want to do this, you have to build the underground tunnel and network for 90 million Iranians. Until you're able to do that, I'm not going underground. That's what he said. And he was working normally in his office. And these guys went there and blew it up. Like, this is the most craziest thing I've ever seen. And this is not the first time. They've done it before, during the same period where they were having talks between America and Iran during the first stages that Israel went there to attack. So they lure you to believe that you're having negotiations with them, then attack you. We have seen this before. And this whole idea of international law is gone. International law is finished. This is the beginning of the end of international law. The United Nations is finished. The ICJ is finished. The ICJ only target countries in Africa. The ICJ only target countries in Africa. Weak countries that have no power, like Nigeria, like Benin Republic, countries in Asia. And then China is the biggest. Now, because another argument that was, put forward again is that while America is doing this is because, don't forget to like and share, by the way. Share this on your story. Let's power tap and share. I'm also live on YouTube. So if you want to check it out, Savak Media, the same name on my account. You need to go there and subscribe because the long form content is there. Most of my documentaries on my travels are also there. Savak Media is the account. Search for Savak Media, the same name on my account here. You can find it on YouTube and subscribe to my YouTube and hit the notification bell. It's very important. So the US strikes on Iran tests China's energy security. So what they are doing right now is that they're carrying out these attacks to weaken China, to deny China access to energy. With Russia, with Iran and Venezuela, they're trying to deny China access to energy security because energy is very important. And the reason why China is able to provide this technology for low cost is because of energy. The energy supplies that they constantly get from Iran and from Venezuela and so on and so forth. And they're building their reserves for it, okay? So they're trying to discontinue that line. This is why they're attacking Iran, because Iran have refused to fall under their auspices. This is clear to me. America is in debt of over, I don't know, some 10 to 15 trillion to China and owing the rest of the world about the same amount. So the US is in debt. And the way they want to come out of this debt is to go to war by denying China energy security and using that oil proceeds or whatever to rebalance whatever they're owing. They are in serious trouble. And if this onslaught on Iran fails, who knows what will happen? And the more the US continue to bomb them and use chemicals on them and so on and so forth, like President Trump is claiming he wants to do, I mean, they can go to any length to do whatever they want to do to the Iranian people. The Iranian people will never, never, never give up their country. It will never happen. They can continue to bombard it. They can continue to race to areas where they can take. If the idea is to get the Iranian people on side to do this, the more the war continues, the longer it continues, and they begin to attack civilian areas and unalive civilians, this is what we are going to get. They are going to lose the narrative. They are going to lose the initiative. And this is the beginning of the end for America's power. So this is a gamble that President Trump have taken. And the moment America deploys boots on the ground for governance in Iran, this is the end of it. Nothing can help them. And now Pakistan is supposed to like be the problem. Again, they are going to blame Pakistan. We have seen this before. Okay? They might likely blame Pakistan again, like we've seen in the past. If anything goes wrong, they blame countries instead of blaming themselves. They will blame other countries instead of blaming themselves. Why? Because they believe that Pakistan is going to give them supply. So this whole war between Pakistan and Afghanistan is not by coincidence. 2 days to the attack on Iran, we begin to see this wave of fighting between Afghanistan and Pakistan. Some rogue elements in Afghanistan threw bombs into Pakistan. Pakistan declared war on Afghanistan and they're fighting. 2 or 3 days to this American intervention in Iran. It is not by coincidence. And Pakistan and Afghanistan have a very long border, and the supplies from China will continue. So they are trying to disconnect. The fastest way to go to China is through Pakistan. And this is why America is in a limbo. They are trying to find a way out, in terms of their contacts with both Pakistan and Afghanistan. They've lost Afghanistan already. And now they're trying to do it to Pakistan. What will be the chance of American success in trying to disconnect Pakistan from China? Now, China, have the upper hand because of the Indus River, their presence in the upper part of the Indus River, which gives water security to Pakistan in Punjab and India. So India is now talking about building a dam. They can't do that now because China is in the upstream. So it is a very, very complicated topic. So Pakistan cannot discontinue itself from China because they depend on China to put pressure on India. On the other hand, America wants to keep Pakistan, in sight. They want to keep the military in Pakistan and to observe and to see what is going on with their nuclear weapons so that it will not fall into the wrong hands that will go against America. And this is why they threw out Imran Khan. Imran Khan was very honest to his opinion. He didn't like what was going on, in Pakistan. He wanted to change, the narrative completely. He wanted to realign and rebase Pakistan. And then this is why they took him out. And again, you have the ethnic dimension to what is going on in Pakistan, which we can also talk about. But it is not a surprise to me, like I said. It's not by coincidence. It's not a surprise that 2 days before this attack against Iran, we see like this is not it's not a joke at all. This does not, it does not augur well for. So look, the end game here is that America will probably destroy the government and destroy the capability of the IRGC, weaken the IRGC, then try to sign some agreement with them and say, finally, we have been able to prevent you from having the nukes. And then they begin to talk about other things. They want to degrade the government. They want to weaken the government. But that is not the only thing they want. They want more than that. They want oil. They want access to rare earth minerals. They want to disconnect Iran from China and a host of other things they want to do. So America wants to be involved in it. But China also needs energy security. And that energy security is what America is against. This is what they want to target. This is what they're interested in targeting. So we need to set it straight. And China have a lot to lose. And by the way, it is important because people are saying that why is China not, running in head first? China should go in immediately and try to set things straight and push the Americans back. Okay, the U.S.-Israeli strikes on Iran test China's energy security diplomacy ambitions at all, at all levels. So when Washington consented to military operations against Iran, the move reverberated far beyond the Middle East. The escalation is not merely a regional gambit, but part of a broader strategic choreography. The timing ahead of a new round of high-stake talks between U.S. President Donald Trump and the Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping in Beijing suggests an attempt to negotiate from a position of maximum leverage. In this reading, the U.S. Seeks to demonstrate coercive capacity in multiple theaters from Panama to Venezuela to Iran, thereby signaling resolve and constraining China's room for maneuver. Yet these strategies carry profound risk. A prolonged confrontation with Iran could entangle the U.S. in another open-ended conflict, draining political capability, military readiness, and fiscal resources. Chinese experts have described this operation as a high-stake gamble that may spiral beyond Washington's control. Should the conflict metastasize, it could paradoxically strengthen China's standing as comparatively restrained and stability-oriented great power, particularly across the global south, where skepticism towards Western military interventions run deep. Exactly what I said. This is a very good piece. It's a very good piece, succinct, straight to the point. And this is exactly what I've been saying, that this is a gamble. While President Trump thinks he's demonstrating power, the lack of stability and the restraint from China is crazy. Even though this goes against their interests, they are watching, they are looking at it, and they are building their own capacity. So if America gets entangled and drawn into this long war of attrition against Iran, which is what everybody's waiting for, we want America to put boots on the ground. We want Jewish Israeli forces to go on the ground in Iran. I mean, think about it, how important and how beautiful it is. In spite of all these things we are saying, the Saudis will be doing this to themselves if they begin to send military men and send whatever on the ground. At the end of the day, you might see the Saudis backing out of it if Iran stops attacking them. You might see the other countries stepping back, okay? And if they don't, the conflict is going to blow out of proportion. It is not just going to be Lebanon in this case, it's going to be everywhere. We are seeing now the blowback of it in Pakistan. We are seeing the tensions in Afghanistan. We are seeing what is happening, in the Persian Gulf. We are seeing what is going on between Russia and Ukraine. It is a toxic cocktail. And President Trump is taking this gamble. It is not just about his rating. The next 2 weeks will define whether or not America will be able to do the job. But the problem is that if Iran continues to fire these missiles and target American soldiers, if America continues to lose planes and lose men, it is not going to be easy. What kind of agreement do you think they are going to have with Iran now? Okay? What sort of agreement do you think is going to happen between these two parties? I'm sorry. What sort of agreement? It will be very difficult for them to come out of this with their head held high. It's going to be very difficult for them to come out from this wagging that they've won. Now, President Trump cannot go home now and now tell the public at home in America that he has won the war. And we have to be very careful because the attempt to arm Kurdish resistance and rebellion and whatever you call them in that corridor is going to lead to Turkey being drawn into the conflict as well. And when you have Turkey in the conflict, I'm sorry, it's going to be a difficult situation. If you drag Turkey into this conflict, it's going to be very difficult. It's going to make it complicated. Israel and America is now going to team up. The Europeans are now going to, and we are now seeing what is happening in Cyprus. If Cyprus becomes a threat to Turkey, Turkey is going to bomb it. And then Russia and Turkey will begin to align. Somebody saying Turkey cannot do it. Turkey is going to be drawn in if America begin to arm those Kurdish rebellion in Erbil, in Suleimania, in Dahok, in what do you call it again? In Rojava, and in all those areas, because it is the corridor between all these countries, leading all the way to Armenia. The Kurds are there, and for America to succeed in Iran, they need those Kurds. For the US to succeed in Iran, they need to work with the ethnic division, and the idea to arm the Kurds, to use them against Iran, to weaken Turkey, will not be accepted. So they are trying to drive a wedge in order to create a corridor for Israel to be able to have a Kurdish state, in order to have a direct threat behind Israel, behind Turkey. It's complicated. This is what I'm trying to explain to you guys. It's not just about Iran and Israel at this point. It's not just about sectarianism at this point. If the interest of Pakistan is threatened, particularly their economic interest and their strategic interest with China and their energy security is threatened, Pakistan also have energy needs, and they are depending on Russia. They are depending on Iran. Russia also have energy need. This is just the beginning. For those of you that came for the party, wait until you see. And again, some will say Israel caused all of this. Well, America is also doing their own bidding. This idea that we must blame Israel and America is just somebody that can be moved around. No, the US is also on board with this. They are doing this because they believe that it satisfies their own interest. This is a clear game of interest. This is what they want. This is what they are looking for. Why is anybody surprised? Why are you surprised that this is happening? I'm sorry, I'm not surprised. And we have to be very measured and very careful in how we see these things. I want to be very clear. This is just the beginning. The idea that America has won the war, even in Venezuela, we are seeing groups now going into the forest, going into the mountains in Venezuela, starting some sort of rebellion against the government. This is not the end of the story, ladies and gentlemen. Trump have drank a poison chalice. He's been emboldened. And you know what they were saying in America is that we are going to Iran and do it really quickly so we can go to Cuba. So President Trump is bragging that he can get the job done really quickly in Iran so he can move from there to Cuba. Whatever Iran is doing now is deliberate. Whatever you see Iran doing right now is deliberate, because they are not just focusing on America and Israel to allow those areas to stay in peace. They are looking to make the conflict bigger, to create sectarian divide, to make the sectarian division bigger, because the countries that have been lobbying for this, the Saudis have, who's funding this conflict? It's the Saudis. They gave Trump over 6 to 7 trillion in contracts, for fishery, in like a lot of things. We're talking of hundreds of billions of dollars to do this. They lobbied them to hand over the cause to Jolani. So it is the Saudis that are playing this very dangerous game. Saudi Arabia is one of the most important countries in that region. And they are one of the countries playing this very dangerous game. And they are also going to feel the full impact when push comes to shove and they are dumped. Who is the Saudi Arabia going to run to tomorrow? Will they run to China? China, look at what China is doing. China is sitting back and taking care of themselves and also seeing what is happening and watching it manifest. They are waiting. They are waiting to see the outcome of it. So the idea that the Saudis can get out, this is a trap. In the next 20, 30 years, if they are bombing, they are going to bomb Saudi Arabia for any reason, I'll be here and I'll be saying that in my lifetime, I've seen it, the Saudis were there. They were the ones that created this problem for themselves. As we're speaking, Egypt is, quote unquote, working with the government in Lebanon to disarm Hezbollah. Egypt is intervening in the politics of Lebanon for sectarian reasons without looking at their own problems. The Egyptians were the ones that blocked the Palestinians from escaping from the Israeli bombardment. Let's talk about that. And people are saying that, hang on a second, that the Iranians intervened in Syria. When you ask these people about the Saudi intervention in Syria, they don't have any answer. When you ask them about over 300,000 people unalived, taken out in Yemen, no answer. They only come to the live stream and get solidarity and unity when it's Israel. And I'm one of the biggest critics of Israel. I don't like the government in Israel. I don't like the behavior of the state of Israel. And the same thing applies to the United States. But the surprise to me, again, is when I come and I see situations like this, and they are celebrating the unaliving of Nasrallah. They are celebrating the unaliving of the supreme leader of Iran, Khamenei. They are calling for Grand Ayatollah Ali Sistani of Iraq to be taken out. And a host of other events that we are seeing unfolding today shows me clearly that the Middle East is not different from Africa. We are more interested in primordial proclivities. We are more interested in our emotions and feelings than long-term strategic thinking. You say the Americans are powerful. You say the Europeans are powerful. You think Israel cannot do this on their own without the support of all of you in that region. The biggest Zionists today are not even the Israelis or the evangelicals in America themselves. They are Arabs from the region. Arabs from the region are the biggest Zionists. Take that to the bank. Don't come and some people come and constrain me, say, oh, Sav, you have to say the Saudi government, or you have to say the Emirati government, or you have to say this and that. No, I'm not going to be constrained by what you want me to say. This is the statement. Arabs in the region are far more Zionist than Israelis and American evangelicals. And I say this with every profound sense of responsibility. I have seen it myself. I have been moving around, and I clearly see what is going on all sides. You have them putting up pictures, mocking it and say it's gone. You know, what are we really doing? And yeah, they think they're smart. They think that, like, you think you are smarter than Israel, right? You are actually doing this to yourself. You're actually cutting off your own nose to spite your face, right? This is what you're doing. So when Iran is taken out, what next? Who's going to be next if Iran is taken out? Who will be next if you take out Iran? It's just a simple question. Who is going to be next if you take out Iran? Who is going to be next? Maybe Turkey, because the Israelis are already saying that Turkey is the single biggest problem now that they are bombing Iran. It's no longer Iran, it's going to be somebody else. Will it come to a point when the Americans will say, hold on, you told us about Iraq, we removed Iraq. You told us about Libya, we destroyed the country. You told us about Syria, we destroyed the country. You told us about Lebanon, we destroyed the country. You told us about Iran, we destroyed the country. We supported you to bomb Egypt. One country is asking the rest of the world to destroy everybody else for them. This will never stop. As long as you live with people, you are always going to complain that everybody is the problem but you. And anytime you say this, you are anti-Semitic. Anytime you say this, people get offended. If that area is very dangerous for you to stay, nobody asks you to migrate there. Nobody asks you to go there. We have to wake up. The situation is getting out of control, and President Trump and the people around him are realizing in real time. And you know why he's emboldened? I can assure you that President Trump wouldn't have done this if he didn't succeed, quote unquote, in Venezuela. If the situation in Venezuela went wrong or had gone badly, he wouldn't have attempted this. They told him that this is the same thing people told you about Venezuela. And look at what we've been able to do in Venezuela. We knocked them out. And they respect you around the world, President Trump. Go to Iran, it's going to be easy. And Qatar have come under Iranian missile and drone fire. Within hours of the U.S. launching Operation Epic Fury against Iran, Tehran forces unleashed retaliatory strikes against American military bases in the Middle East, unaliving 4 U.S. troops and destroying billions of dollars worth of equipment. Will make the Zionists. So this is a statement coming from Iran. So this is an economic war. And like I told you guys, the cards are going to be used. Look at the areas around Erbil, Al-Assab, Al-Tanf. These are American bases. Mufawak, South Camp, King Faisal Air Base, a lot of it in Saudi Arabia. Sheikh Issa, NSA Bahrain, Jebel Ali, Al-Dafra, Duqm in Oman, Prince Sultan. So a lot of American military bases in Saudi Arabia. So I also see that Arab countries are saying that America is putting all the resources to defend Israel. What happens to them? That they are the ones paying. So we have to look. The situation is not funny anymore. They are saying that why is America just focused on defending Israel alone with their air defense? All American power have been channeled towards the defense of Israel. I can tell you that for free. What happened to the countries that have been paying the billions? The Saudis. The American patriots and American third system are not doing more for Saudi Arabia that have paid trillions than for Israel. They are defending Israel more against Iranian strikes than they are doing to Saudi Arabia. We need to wake up. Why is America, that have taken billions and trillions of dollars from these countries, not doing more to prevent and protect them? They evacuated all their bases and allowed those countries on their own to their fate. Remove most of their personnel, allow those countries to their fate. And the Saudi Arabs think that they have sense. They think that they are the smartest. They are not seeing the reality. The Arab Gulf countries are not seeing the reality because of the camel meat that they are eating. I'm sorry. I'm really, really offended by this. I'm really, really pissed off that they are not waking up. Why are you guys siding with Israel and America against your own neighbor? Because you squabble between the family, you can't settle it. You bring in the American to burn all the countries in the region. It's not about Arab leaders, it's the Arab people. I've seen it myself. Don't gaslight me to think when I go to live streams and I see them celebrating, and I see one guy called Palestinian engineer, Ask the Dog, Hanin, Janine, all these people, some of them are Palestinians. All these guys I'm mentioning, they are Palestinians, and they are dancing and jubilating. And I see Saudis on their live stream dancing that the regime in Iran is gone. These are the same people that went to the Americans and told the Americans, we want you to destroy Iran. They've been lobbying for this for 20, 25 years. And if it eventually happens, I made a proposal before. I said something before. I said, look, why is Iran going through all of this? You don't have to do any deal with the Americans. Just reach out to Israel. I'm sorry. Iran should reach out to Israel and normalize with Israel right now. And let's see how the Arab countries react. All of a sudden, they will wake up and say, oh, they are Jesus, they are sellouts, but you are doing it. You guys are very loud in condemning Somaliland for siding with Israel. You are very loud in siding and condemning that Somaliland took a position to accept recognition from Israel. But all of you are doing it. Then which of those countries in the region is not collaborating with Israel? Is it Lebanon? Is it Jordan? Is it Kuwait? Is it Oman and Bahrain? Is it even countries like Morocco? Is it countries like Syria right now? Is it countries like Saudi Arabia and Qatar? And even the United Arab Emirates? The Emirates is part of the Abraham Accord. Why is Iran going through this pain? Iran should normalize with Israel. And let's see how the Arab countries react. I'm tired of this gaslighting. When I see Palestinians dancing, the only country that did something for you is Iran. Not your Arab brothers and sisters. They didn't do one thing for you. And I'm watching. And I will tell you the truth. I'm watching and I will tell you the ultimate truth. I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to tell you the truth. It is a disgrace that you are doing this. And we are watching, we are seeing it. Don't think we are not seeing it. When they want to gaslight us, they'll say, oh, well, we don't like Iran, but we don't like Israel either. What kind of statement is that? What kind of statement is that? When Israel was bombing Israel, if I came and took the Kurds took the same position. Some people in the Middle East took the same position, that they don't really accept Israel, but they don't like the Palestinians, or they don't accept with the Palestinian Authority, or they don't agree with the H group because of their tactic, how would you respond? How would you respond if I came on your panel when Israel was bombarding Gaza and I said that I don't agree with the IDF, but I don't agree with the Palestinians? Would that make any sense to you? No, it would not, right? So why do you think it makes sense to me that you are taking this position? Again, it's not all of you, but I'm not going to be restrained. I'm not going to be contained and told, oh, some of us. I've seen the a good proportion of your people, the loudest among them, and they are reflecting on your community. I've seen that. It is a surprise for me that you guys are accepting and working with Israel and coming to my face. Bella, imagine me as a Nigerian going on their panel when Israel was bombing them, and I would go there to celebrate the unaliving of H group members and tell them, well, I don't agree with Israel, but I don't agree with the Palestinians either. Would that make any sense to them? Would that make any sense? I am a slave of logic. I'm nobody's dhimmi. I'm not going to support you just because you think you are superior to anybody. Do you understand? All this nonsense, a bunch of kids, if you disagree with their opinion, they'll meet up on Discord, and you guys have seen you can't cancel anybody on this app. Have you guys seen? Now I'm bigger than most of you. Look at my numbers. I had almost 700 people yesterday. You have seen that you cannot cancel anybody that disagree with you, right? I've said it from the beginning that the truth, only the truth, even if I have 2 people, only the truth, only the truth. Your meetings on Discord is not the truth. Nobody care about that. Only the truth is very important to me. Nothing else matter. I stand on business. I am surprised to see Palestinians now siding with Israel to go against Iran. And when you talk about it, they are offended. Why are you offended? I don't care about your feelings. I have been very consistent. I will never change my opinion. I will never change my opinion. I'm telling you right now. I've never seen anything like this in my life. I am more pro-Palestinian than some of these guys. Ask the doc, engineer, Hanin, all these losers. What are you guys doing? You see them celebrating, and they try to put up a good face, and when you come, oh, well, we don't agree with Israel, but we don't like the Iranian regime as well. Really? Like, they just throw logic out of the window because they're very short-sighted, very emotional in their thinking. They are very primordial in their proclivity to sectarianism, and they don't see anything else. Even though they claim they are not sectarian, you can see the deep-seated disdain for the Shia. I am not surprised, but I'm embarrassed. I'm shocked. And you think because some Saudi guy is gifting Doc, that is the reason why you are siding with them? Therefore, over 20 years, they have been lobbying for the destruction of countries in the region. The Saudis unalive over 300,000 people in Yemen. I've been consistently talking about it. This is not the first time. Just because I advocate for Palestine does not mean that I'm going to side with the unaliving in Yemen. The Saudis did it with the Emiratis. And you guys are acting as if nothing happened. But you can see what the Iranians did in Syria. Forget about me for a second. You have lost the plot. You have lost the plot. When people like George Galloway and people like this are also complaining about some of the behavior and the direction that you guys are taking, who are the leaders of your community? Who is really leading these communities? So you care more about your disdain for the Shia than losing your land to the Israelis. The Israelis have told you they're taking the Sinai, they're taking the some parts of Saudi Arabia. And all you care about is some primordial 15th century story. The division between your groups. What are you guys doing? I live today in this world. I'm more interested in what is happening today in my world. I'm more interested in how we can make the world better. And if there's an enemy in the region that is causing problem, let's deal with that enemy. You can't turn around and say, oh, I don't agree with this and that. Therefore, because it's not just the Saudis. It is not just the Saudis. It is the Emiratis, it's the Omanis, it's the people in Kuwait. All of them were lobbying the Americans. They say, oh, America, we need you to just to survive. The dictators of this region want to survive. So they run to America and say, oh, protect us from Iran. Oh, so they've been playing this game over time. So you can't come here and act surprised. You can't claim that you're surprised that this is happening. All of a sudden, you're surprised. All of a sudden, you are surprised that this is happening. How did you get to this point? How on earth did we get to this point where I will see in my lifetime Palestinians, Saudis, Emiratis, and I repeat again, Palestinians, Saudis, Jordanians, Emiratis, Egypt. Don't say the government. I don't want to hear it. Ask the dog is not the government. A lot of the people I actually sat on panels with are now holding live streams saying we condemn Iran, we want Iran gone, but we also want Israel go. It again, this is what I'm hearing. This is exactly what I'm hearing. And it's the hypocrisy. You are the one that is emotional. I'm the one standing on business and standing on facts. I stand against Israel. And if the Israeli bombs are going to be hitting Saudi Arabia tomorrow, I stand against it. This is the honesty on my part. This is the consistency on my part. I'm not going to allow my grievances against Egypt, for instance, cloud my judgment that Israel is bombing Egypt tomorrow, and then I'll say, oh, Egypt, did something I didn't like 5 years ago. Therefore, I'm going to side with the Israelis. I know who the bigger enemy is. I know who the bigger enemy is. I'm not just going to come here and say, oh, well, because this happened 15 years ago. Right now, as we speak, instead of Egypt focusing on their own problems, focusing on the fact that tomorrow, in no distant time, the Israelis are coming for the Sinai. They claim it's their spiritual home. They claim that God gave them this place. And they are coming for it. The biggest enemy of the world, of that region, is those Arab countries siding with Israel, signing the deal with Israel, and coming out in the morning and saying we don't like Israel. In the night, they go and do a deal with them, and in the morning they come and say, "Oh, in the lead up to the attack, we now had the Saudis say, oh no, well, we don't want America to bomb." Excuse me. You have said that for 25, 30 years, that you want America to come and destroy Iran because Iran is posing a threat to you. And this is why I don't trust these countries, because they will do it to others that are closer to them, and they will do it to themselves eventually. The Saudis did it to Saddam. The Saudis do this to Gaddafi. The Saudis did this to Assad. The Saudis are doing this to Iran today. Tomorrow, it will be somebody else. And I'm not surprised at all. This is not a surprise to me. I am seeing what is happening, and the situation right now is metastasizing like cancer. This is no longer conflict between Israel and Iran anymore. We're now seeing the situation in Lebanon. Well, let me explain something to you guys. Iran is a different kettle of fish. So Israel when they were bombing Gaza and they were fighting in Gaza, they had the ability because Gaza was not posing or posing a significant resistance or fight to them. Now they are bombing Lebanon to start up conflict in that area in order to send the message that, oh, stay out of this, and then fighting Iran. This Lebanon is not Gaza. Iran is not Gaza. Even though in Lebanon you have the schism and different, the government in place now is trying to maintain their job. They're trying to stay out of it and so on and so forth and say, oh, it's only Hezbollah. No, it's not. It's not. There are other different groups now that have started fighting. So the idea of trying to scapegoat only has the big H is not going to work. And then the situation can cascade in no time. Iraq is another problem. But let me explain something to you. If the Americans go into Iraq, because their bases are being targeted in Iraq, from Iraq, by the Hashd al-Shabi, by the boys of Hadi al-Amri, the Imam Ali Brigade, the Kataib Hezbollah, and other groups, what will happen is that the Americans will get involved in Iraq and then arm the Kurds again, and Turkey will start bombing the Kurds. And the situation is going to escalate. And if quickly it can go to Europe. And we saw now what happened in Ayanapa or in Limassol yesterday. We saw the situation in Limassol, in Cyprus. And if Iranian missiles and drones start hitting those bases and expensive equipment in Limassol, which is in Cyprus, it is coming close to home. It is coming close to home, and this might likely drag Turkey into the conflict. We might see a situation where Turkey will be dragged into the conflict if the Kurds will be armed by Israel and America to help them against some of the militias in Iraq and in Syria. I mean, the ones in Syria are no longer there to some extent because Jolani and his people are now completely subservient to Israel. The biggest win for Israel is Jolani coming to power. Is President Trump bragging that he put him there. He said, yeah, that kid, I put him there. He wouldn't be there without me. And he brags about it, and he's doing exactly what I want. And the Saudis, in turn, lobbying the Americans to ditch the Kurds and allow Jolani to unite the country. That has happened. The Kurds have been thrown under the bus again. They are going to do exactly the same thing in Iran. But the situation in Iran is far more volatile. And we're now seeing massive protest and fighting in Pakistan. Forget about the conflict with Afghanistan in a second. Pakistan is now facing internal problems. And the other way again for Pakistan to escape this blowback of American attack in Iran is why they're fighting with Afghanistan to unite the country. It's not going to work. That conflict between Pakistan and Afghanistan will come to a freeze. The Americans are not interested in seeing that happen. They want the conflict to go on in order to provide cohesion in Pakistan. Without the cohesion in Pakistan, we might see a blowback of American intervention in Iran, ladies and gentlemen. And Pakistan is now posed with a significant, serious question. Do you abandon Iran and dish your energy security? Do you abandon Iran and incur the wrath of China in the Indus River, where India can now take advantage and build a dam? The Indians have been threatening to build a dam. The only reason they have not done that is because of China. China doesn't care. If you build a dam downstream, it doesn't affect China. It doesn't affect their position in Ladakh. It doesn't affect their position in the areas of the Himalayas that they're occupying. And because of that, the Chinese are free to do whatever they want. But if you're going to play with Chinese energy security, Pakistan can be squeezed in no time. Pakistan is in a very, very, very precarious situation. So if they ditch China, and India will not be abandoned by America. America needs India against China. And then Pakistan, what is the need of Pakistan? You only need Pakistan now against China, right? Or to use it to counterbalance what China is doing. So if Pakistan pick a position and side up with America against China, what will happen is that China is going to play them the game in the Indus. They're going to play them the game on all fronts. And then Pakistan is of no use, and then it becomes a threat. It comes from asset to liability. And the Americans are already saying we are not comfortable with these Muslims having nukes. They have said it pop and plain. This is dangerous. This is dangerous. I spoke about this a week, 2 weeks before this. I spoke about this. Nobody was focused looking at what was going on in Pakistan. I told you guys it was going to happen in Pakistan. Some of you come on my live stream every single time. I told you guys, you can go and check my videos. 2 weeks before this happened, a year ago, I was talking about this. I'll pull up the map and explain the implications of this on Pakistan, on the Turkic Azeris in the north, on the Kurdish areas on the Iraqi border with Iran. I spoke about this extensively. You can go and check my body of work. So this is really disturbing. And President Trump is trying to put the face and say, oh, everything is under control. The best time to get out of it is now. Therefore, you need to get people that Iran can listen to. And you can convince the Gulf countries not to engage, to go into war. Because if the Gulf countries go into war, they have their own domestic problems. That is going to expose the power base of these countries. The Saudis want stability. Instability will mean that the Al Saud family will be on their way out. If Saudi goes to war, there's no guarantee that they can come out of it unscathed. And what will happen to the political structure and the stability in Saudi Arabia and these countries? So it's not just about Israel. People tend to focus on Israel. Israel. No! The conflict has reached Europe already. And then Turkey will decide what side they are on. Turkey does not really have to side with Iran. Turkey will have to protect the interests of Turkey if they see the development in Cyprus. If Israel starts mobilizing assets in Cyprus that will threaten Turkey, Turkey will start striking them. And that will lead to war with Europe. This whole NATO experiment will come crumbling. And then the Russians are preparing for war in the Arctic. The Russians came out with a statement today that Norway and NATO are blocking them in the Arctic, and that it is a life and death for them. China is waiting for America to make the mistake. They are begging America to put boots on the ground. How many troops do you need in Iran to do the job to remove the regime? If what you are looking for is the people of Iran to protest, to remove the government, that would have happened already. With these strikes America did, the people would have overthrown the government already if the government was so unpopular. You need 1.5 million, 600,000 troops to start with, to be able to even enter through Tabriz. 600, 700,000 troops to be able to enter through Tabriz. So this is an insurmountable task. And then you have all these guys in Canada living with their what do you call them? Some of them living, this what do you call it? Life of delusion, because they have not seen anything. Some of them living in America, living a life of delusion. They don't see anything outside the United States. The sun rise and set in America. I'm sorry to say, when I speak to Europeans, the Europeans have more knowledge and clue of what is happening in the world because they are more in touch with reality than the Americans. I'm sorry. And America is the one that have all this power. So what happened to their people? What happened to their citizens? Why are they so detached from reality? And to add to that, the Canadians that are eating burger and bread and maple syrup, they're also out of touch with reality. If I have a conversation with these Europeans, you can clearly see where they stand, but you can also understand the depth of their understanding of the realities around the world. It's not the same with the Americans. I'm sorry. It's not the same with the Americans. The Americans, you talk to them, to them it's binary. It's them against the world. It's American power against the world. So they don't see nuances. They don't see differences. They don't see the complications of politics, and particularly of international politics and interventions. If you go to most of their live streams, it's Trump or anti-Trump. It's about whether they win against Iran or whether they will lose. They're not looking at the nuances. Nobody's saying, let's look at what we are doing. These have a propensity, a potential of sparking an all-out war because of these differences. What will happen to the Kurds? If we arm the Kurds, how will Turkey react? What happened to the rift between the Sunnis and the Shia? How is this likely to escalate? How many American live streams are discussing these details? The people in the region, they say, oh, our allies in Saudi Arabia. You are saying this, but you don't know what is happening in Saudi Arabia. Our allies. No, the government of Saudi is your ally, but the government of Saudi Arabia is able to gain some support because of the largesse that they have provided for their people. All of that can go away if there is instability in the country. And then you begin to see militias popping up left, right, and center, and whoever is against them will begin to work with them. So crack will emerge in the Al Saud family because there are a lot of disgruntled people within the royal family as well that want this power structure and all the money that these guys have to go away. They want this to fall. They want it to go away. So the idea of of trying to say X, Y, Z is not going to happen. America can get away with bombing Benin and Nigeria and all these countries that have nothing. They can come to, and this is why I'm talking to African countries. You need to wake up. And then while all of this is going on, you see African leaders going to AU summit, and they say they are talking about they're passing conventions and they are signing agreements on genocide and food crisis and social issues. Like, this is why, who can do that is a loser. People are building nuclear weapons, nukes, to protect themselves. The US will never go to North Korea, the DPRK. The DPRK have threatened to attack American mainland. They have not. Iran did not threaten that. Iran did not threaten that. Iran said your bases in the region are threatening us and we will hit them. But DPRK is saying we will attack New York. That's what they're saying. DPRK is threatening to go to mainland America, and they have tested ballistic missiles that have the capability that can carry a heavier payload than the one of Iran. Some of the technology you see Iran having today, they got from North Korea. They got from the DPRK. The DPRK is ready, is prepared, is locked and loaded, and they have nukes. They say it. Iran doesn't have it. Iran said we don't want to have it. We want to have the potential to provide energy with the enriched stockpile that we have. And America is threatening it to eliminate it. Why don't you go to the DPRK and do the same thing? Maybe we can start from going to the DPRK. They're threatening to go to Guam. They're threatening to attack your islands, some of the islands you control in the Pacific. They're threatening to go to your base in Okinawa. They're threatening to go to your base in Seoul. They're threatening to go to your base in the Philippines. I think you have base in Luzon, a few bases in Luzon, which is in the north. You have bases in Visayas, which is in the center, and you have bases in Mindanao, which is in the south of the Philippines. America basically occupied the Philippines. And you see US soldiers going there, impregnating Filipino women and giving birth and running away. Over 50,000 American personnel, close to 150,000 American personnel and their dependents live in the Kaiserslautern area, Camp Ramstein in Kaiserslautern. The Americans are in Germany today, over 80 or 90 years after the Second World War. They are there today, occupying territories after territories, projecting power, and yet the threat you're saying is not you that have over 850 military outposts, is Iran that have no overseas military outpost. Iran is the threat. It's not America, it's not Israel. Israel, by the way, people don't know this. Israel have a base, an outpost in Socotra off the coast of Yemen that they built with and operating with the Emiratis, and they have presence in Cyprus. They have military presence in Cyprus. Why is nobody talking about that? The UK is crying that their military base was attacked with a drone. Why are you surprised? You own the base, you lease the base to the Americans to dock, you gave the base to the Israelis to dock, you are giving the base to powers that antagonize Turkey, that antagonize people in the region. Why are you surprised? And this is not the end of it. This is the right time for Turkey to fight. If Turkey waits until they destroy Iran or Iran comes out of this conundrum, they will face Turkey next. I said it, take it to the bank. This is the time or never for Turkey to wake up. Turkey needs to wake up, and they're already saying it. And if these Arab countries can do it to everybody else, what would they do to Turkey? We know what will happen to Turkey. Let's see what Iran can do to particularly Saudi Arabia, because a lot of people are hypocrites. They say that the Saudis lobby the Americans. They say they don't want the war. No, that is donkey shit. You guys have been saying this for over 20 years. All the arms you bought from America in the NDA, the non-disclosure, whatever, some of the things you because you have to sign an NDA, right? Who is this targeted against, right? And you say the threat to us is Iran. If the threat to you is Iran, you buy the weapons for Iran to go on against Iran. Except you guys are telling me that Saudi Arabia is buying all this arm to defend itself against Israel. Is Saudi Arabia telling me that all the arms they are getting, they are trying to defend themselves against Israel? If you make that clear to me, then I can understand. Are the Saudis buying all this hardware to go against Israel? If they're not, then let's have a real conversation on what is really going on, what is happening. What is the purpose of you buying and equipping yourself with this ordnance? A conversation have to be had. So we cannot sit down here and talk every day and you guys still don't understand. You have to understand the nature of geopolitics. For those of you watching me here, don't forget to subscribe on my YouTube, Savak Media. If somebody can leave it in the comment section, it is Savak Media. I'm live now on YouTube. The full document of this will be there on my YouTube account. Go right now to my YouTube and see I'm live. I'm there right now, live on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe. It's very important to me, guys. Go there and subscribe right now to my YouTube. If you appreciate and like the work I'm doing, I'm on YouTube. I'm going to write it in the comment. This is the name. Go there right now and subscribe to my YouTube. You can see it right now. Take a screenshot of it. If you can't do that right now, take a screenshot of it and then go and search on YouTube. You see me right there. And again, if you want to follow me on Facebook, Facebook is growing exponentially. In fact, about 40,000 followers in a matter of 5 days. It's crazy. So we are making significant progress there. You can also check me out on Facebook, Savak, SAVVARK, SAVVARK. But on my YouTube, you see it is pinned there. Go to my YouTube right now, take a screenshot, go there and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that when I go live like this, you can see there's a proper dimension you can see there. And you can also watch my videos while you're going to work and so on and so forth. All of this will be documented there. If you want to support my work and support what I'm actually doing and you like what I'm doing, it is important for me for you to go there and hit subscribe. Subscribe, search the name, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and the videos there, you can leave your comments, and I would always respond to them. For my Facebook, it's already on autopilot. I don't know. We've built a very big family on Facebook. Right now, it's close to 350,000 followers over there. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's crazy. I'm so blessed. And a lot of people they follow. This is me giving my opinion, and this is also from my expertise and my understanding and the experience I've gained over time following trends and events, and my understanding and my academic background as well have been helped me to be able to put this up. Like I say, don't forget, we are live now on YouTube. If you search for SAVV, as it's been there, Savak Media, you will see me live right now on YouTube. You see, right now I'm live here. So go right there, take a screenshot of this and go right there so you can see me on YouTube. Don't forget, like I said, to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And secondly, if you want to follow me on Facebook as well, the name is SAVVARK. Remove the media. Just type SAVVARK. WVARK on Facebook. Like I said, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining. Let's have a conversation now. I think I saw the request from Danzaman. I tried to bring him up. It's no longer there. So if you are pro America, pro Israel, send a request. Let's have a conversation. Let's have a real conversation on what is going on. Welcome.
Hello.
Yes, we see the situation now is metastasizing. It's spreading like cancer. What do you think will happen in the next few weeks?
I can tell you some things for sure, and then other things are just speculation.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get intensifying strikes, that's for sure. We're already seeing the IRGC's propaganda machine falling on its face. It's kind of rampant everywhere. The amount of fake AI videos and claims. I mean, even yesterday you claimed that the aircraft carrier was struck and sunk, which it was not.
No, I never made that claim. I said that I repeat myself, the Iranian government claimed that they have hit the aircraft carrier, and the American CENTCOM denied that that happened. That was what I said. I said, of course, I would like to see it go down to the seabed. That's what I said. You have to quote me correctly.
Okay. Well, either way, there have been hits on the IRGC's media centers, and obviously I think that that's going to be a big effect on what you see online nowadays, because the money's not being pumped out to the propaganda machine. It's falling on its face.
Okay.
In fact, I think one of the most recent propaganda things that's been going around social media is footage of the explosion in China from the gas explosion a few years back, and they're claiming that that's Tel Aviv. It's a pretty viral one. I think it has over a couple million views on it. It goes to show that when it comes to war and striking all these critical infrastructure, especially the media, it really does affect the propaganda machine of the IRGC.
Yeah. So let's get this straight. Media houses, civilian centers are fair game according to you because they are used for propaganda. I think I see like the Israelis come out to say that Iran hit the Soroka hospital, and the last time they hit the media house, and you guys said it was anti-Semitic because they were targeting civilians. And you are telling me that those civilians in Iran that have nothing to do with the military can be struck because they are opening their mouth and supporting the government. That's what you're saying.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
So what are you implying? What exactly are you saying?
Well, you asked me what's going to happen the next couple of weeks. I told you.
Yeah, during the war in Afghanistan, I know for a fact that the Taliban did not have the media that Iran have today, but you couldn't sustain a war with them for 20 years, and you handed over back the country to them. So I'm looking at the situation now in Iran. Iran is, I don't know, 5, 6, 10 times bigger than Afghanistan in terms of population, and in terms of land mass, they're twice or 3 times bigger than Afghanistan. Mountainous, very rugged, and you have over 90 million people. How many forces do you need to take over the country? 1.5 million, 2 million? How many soldiers do you need to be able to take over the country?
Soldiers?
Yes, boots on the ground. I'm talking about boots on the ground.
Oh, that's a complicated question. Think about it realistically, right? Which country's going in boots on the ground?
Oh, I'm just saying, because if you're telling me that the Saudis are going to do it for you, they would not. The Saudis, if you're telling me that Kuwait is going to send their troops, Arab soldiers on the ground to go and unalive their neighbors on the ground for Yehud from Tel Aviv, that's not going to happen. If you're telling me that Arab Qataris are going to send their sons to fight in Iran, to conquer the Persians, to hand it over to Yankees and Yehud, that is likely not going to happen. So you have American soldiers, particularly the black ones and the mercenaries you recruited from around the world, will be sent to Iran to fight on behalf of Israel to fight. And yeah, so that's what's going to happen, right? Are you going to put those boots on the ground?
Is this a hypothetical that you've come
I'm
up
not.
with?
It's not a hypothetical. What have you? You want regime change? That has not happened. You've taken out the leader, but there's a structure in place, and these guys are still firing from their country at will, at your aircraft carrier, at your navy, at facilities. They're damaging Aramco infrastructure. They're damaging, and they continue. And they say this is a long, drawn-out war of attrition. If you notice during the 12-day war, Iran was sending 200 drones. Now they're sending 5 a day, 10 a day. It means that they are prepared to fight for 1 year. So this is what it is. And they're not trying to compare because America have far more firepower. So this is an economic war. It's a symmetric war. And we have seen that those drones cannot even be stopped. We are seeing that the hypersonic missiles cannot be stopped. We are seeing that the ballistic missiles cannot be stopped, and they are hitting Israel at will. So in order for you to stop it, to deny them the social oxygen, to deny them the base that they need to launch those missiles and to launch those projectiles at you, you have to go to the country to stop it at source. Right now, what I'm saying is millions of Iranians turning out in support of their government. If what you are looking for is to turn the people against the government, before this American attack on Iran, most Iranians, and some Iranians, you could argue, didn't really like their government. But when they see that your bombs took out over 160 schoolgirls, when they see that you're now unaliving Iranians, this is where you find out. So, and that is going to happen in the next 1 week. So you are creating the recruiting. How would you do that now? Right now, with those airstrikes, without making mistakes of hitting schools and families and so on and so forth. The more this war goes on, the more you create a platform of a recruiting sergeant for the government. So you need to go on the ground in order to actually remove the government. Are you going to send Jewish troops there, or is it just American troops, particularly the black ones, and the Latino ones you're going to send there again like you did in Vietnam? Go ahead.
Well, I'll tell you, first of all, that is complete and utter nonsense. That's not going to happen. But what's more realistic and what's actually happening on the ground, and you know that this happens, I know you're going to try and deny it, but internally, people with positions of power in the military, it's already starting to happen. They're speaking up against their leaders. They are turning on the IRGC. You know this is happening.
Yeah, so again, this is why.
Is it not a tactic that's going to be done?
This is why I have a problem talking with Canadians and Americans, because they eat bread and they don't understand the nature of these things. They saw that happen in Venezuela. Venezuela is a homogeneous country, completely homogeneous. So the people you are working with are separatists. The people you are actually communicating with are people that have an ambition to divide the country, because the Persians, the ones in power you targeted, you have an intention of removing them. So you have to work with who? Hazaras. You have to work with people of different creeds and the minorities to be able to topple the government. So those ones are going to resist the majority Persians. But the issue is that in the center of the country, which is the most important place, which is the hardest place, is where the activities are happening. So the people are going to begin to see it from ethnic dimensions. They're going to see it from sectarian dimensions. If the Arab countries come there and they with their Sunni ideology to be able to change the country, they are going to see it from that prism. So it is an inoculation for the government, in the sense, because if it takes an ethnic and a sectarian dimension, it goes in favor of the government. It goes in favor of the Persians, the Farsi, the people that speak Farsi. Majority of Iranians speak Farsi. The Persians, the real Persians that are in power, are going to see this as the Kurds and the Baloch working with the Americans to remove them from power, like they did with the Pashtuns in Afghanistan. As a Canadian that eats bread and play with ice, you are looking at it from a very difficult, from a very European, Eurocentric perspective. And this is why I'm very careful to discuss with these Americans, because they don't care about the nuances. Yeah, because again, you are telling me from a purely Eurocentric. Yeah, because I'm closer to the theater than you. You live. I'm closer locally to the theater.
Do you have any Persians in your neighborhoods?
Of course, you have Persians in your neighborhood. Again, you need to understand. You have to differentiate between, you say, Persians, the ones that left because the Shah looted money and he was removed from power by the same Americans, right? They live. So the Persians that live in Canada, the Persians that live in Canada. I can hold on. The Persians, the people protesting are children of the elites. The people protesting, excuse me, are children of the elite. These are children of the elite. The children of the elites are protesting that they want to go back to the country that they were driven out of. These people live in America. The reality on the ground is that over 160 schoolgirls, Iranians, Persian girls that went to school did not come home. You wanted to liberate them and take the hijab from their hair. You succeeded in removing the hijab, but you also took away their life. And
but why do you keep tokenizing those specific girls?
No, I'm not tokenizing them. I'm letting you guys know. This is very important to me. It's not. It is very important to me. Listen to this. Listen to this.
You didn't care about the girls that
Listen to me. It is very important to me. It is very important to me. Listen carefully. People have been coming on my live stream every day. I've been talking about the hypocrisy of the West that is claiming that they are going there to save girls. I gave an analogy of Afghanistan, that the French government under Jacques Chirac, because the French were not interested in helping the Americans in Afghanistan, in order to get the sympathy of the French populace, the president at that time, Jacques Chirac, sold it to them that the women in Afghanistan are being enslaved and they are being kept in the dark ages because the Taliban is forcing them to wear the chador, the niqab, and the burqa. Every day you come on my live, people say I tokenize the women. I said the Americans are claiming again, trying to use the plights of women and the plight of minorities to go to war in Iran. I said that. So yes, it's right in place for me to now point out the hypocrisy, because if your claim of going into Iran is to liberate women from the hijab and the niqab and the chador, you cannot end up unaliving them. This is why I'm mentioning it and I'm talking about it every single time.
I understand. Do you think that they're the main target here? Those specific schoolgirls? Is that what you're implying?
So again, you say it's as a result of collateral damage. That's what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and more of this will happen.
Okay, we'll give you your shouting session. Go ahead.
More of this is going to happen. It's not about shouting section. I'm exercised about this topic. I'm very exercised about this topic.
Okay, tell me this. When the RGC was photographed with motorcycles, trucks, and lineups in a school playground, what was said about that?
You have footages of this, that the RGC went to school. Again, I think this is the Israeli.
Absolutely.
So this is the Israeli mantra that you said that the same thing happened in Palestine. And when you went to Gaza, you claimed that they were hiding under schools. So everywhere you go to, you cannot take responsibility and take accountability when you bomb schools and you unalive children. It has to be the fault. No, I don't care about your apology. I'm just saying that this is what I've been telling people. People like Azadi that say we don't like Israel, but we also don't like the government and we want the government destroyed. I told her that if the Americans come into your country, they are going to unalive between 2 to 5 million people. Are you ready for that? She said, yeah, nobody knows. It's not going to happen like that. If they come in and they support the people, they are going to overthrow the government in 24 hours. We are here today. We are seeing now that it's not happening. And as the day goes by, America will start creating the conditions for the government to be more popular. We are seeing that already. Bombardment from the sky is not going, there's no precision in bombardment from the sky. Tehran has a population of 11.5 million people. So the precision will become less and less as the war goes on. And when you begin to unalive people, you create the condition for the government to become popular, the government you claim you don't like. And again, I don't know how and look at it this way. Even if America goes back today and say we have removed the government of the IRGC, we have removed the Khamenei, but we have not been able to uproot the government from the roots. And then we did an agreement with whoever is left in power that we can have a ceasefire. What does that mean? It means that the Americans are going to come back to continue the fighting. And whoever is in charge will prepare again and regroup and recuperate. So anytime, this is a pause, temporary pause, and they go back again to the enrichment because they know that if they have those stockpiles, they can use it as a bargaining chip. And you cannot. I'm telling you, keep bombing the country, you will never denude them. You will never humiliate them. And this is not going to happen. And on top of that, I want to also say something. I'm shocked. I'm surprised that Arabs and Palestinians in the region are siding with Israel to go into Iran to destroy it. Some of them are claiming, and this is the statement, is very, very hypocritical. And I'll continue to call you guys out. Very hypocritical for you to come and say, I don't like Israel, but I want the IRGC destroyed. What you're doing is that you're giving your credence and you're giving them the belief that they are doing it on your behalf. Imagine me going on your panels when the Israelis were bombarding your country and I stood with you and I said, I don't like Israel, but I don't also like Palestine. How would that sound to you? This is what some of your people are doing today. I have seen it with my own two eyes.
I agree with you. Sometimes it's a little shocking when somebody, they were being funded the whole time by the IRGC and now they're going against it. That's interesting.
No, it's not. It's not even about that. I'm surprised. Look, because again, for me, I truly believe that the biggest problem in the region and even in the entire subcontinent and in the continent of Africa is the American Israel-European alliance. So if that is the enemy, what are we doing selling out ourselves? The Saudis are now claiming, oh, we are not involved, this and that. But the Saudis have been advocating for this for God knows how many years. The Saudis have been doing this. They've been, but Danzaman, can I ask you something? The trillions of dollars that the Saudis have purchased arms from America, who is that arm directed against? Because you signed like non-disclosure agreement, the NDA, is that how you call it? So who is the arm targeted against? What is the purpose of the Saudis buying those arms? And who did they claim they want to use the arms against?
Oh, well, if you really want to answer that question genuinely, you'd have to take a look at what the Saudis are doing militarily. They are engaged in Yemen, so I would assume that that's one of the reasons that they purchased those arms. Another thing is you got to take a look at what their special operations are up to and what they do. Then you'll get your answer. It could be a little bit more complicated than what we think it is.
Oh, no. The Yemen operation started, the recent one, in 2015 or 2016. Before that, they've spent trillions of dollars in purchase of arms. Against who? Who are they defending themselves against? Is it Israel? Would that tell America that exactly it's not against Israel? So who? Is it against Egypt? Very unlikely. Is it against the UAE? Oh, I'm thinking it's against Iran. So when they come out, it's been against Iran. So when they wake up 2 days to the conflict and they now say, oh, we don't want conflict with Iran, what does that even mean? What is that? I don't understand. And then you have Senator Lindsey Graham and these people, they're saying the Saudis are encouraging us to do it. And you have Mohammed bin Salman and his people saying, oh, we want peace, slow negotiations. All of this, they are disingenuous. And again, the same energy I have for the West, I am now looking at the region and I want to understand what is really going on. And when they are done with Iran, the Saudis should prepare. The Turks should prepare. Egypt should prepare, especially Egypt. I'm not here to make anybody happy. I don't care about your feelings. You guys are very emotional. You're very sectarian in nature. You are divided. You don't know what you're doing. You are only motivated by emotion, short-sighted in their thinking. No wonder Israel is bombarding everybody in the region and dominating everybody.
They're the ones that have struck every nation so far in the past 24 hours.
I am telling you right now, Israel is dominating everybody in the region because they have refused to unite. That is a statement of fact. The Saudis and the Emiratis and all of them, including the Egyptians, are more interested in their primordial proclivities and a 10,000 year whatever story about sectarianism than the facts on the ground. And the Saudis should be careful. The Saudis have a lot more to lose. They have a very big territory. They have the longest coastline, I think in what do you call it? In the Red Sea and on the Persian Gulf, or what they call the Arabian Gulf, they have the second longest coastline, if I'm not mistaken. So they are playing with fire, because if what they are doing and all these conditions they are putting in place now will make Israel very powerful in the region. Imagine if Iran, can I ask you something? If Iran today decide to do a deal with Israel and side with Israel like Morocco has done, what would these Arab countries say? What would they say? What do you think they'll say?
Repeat that one more time.
If Iran shake the hand of Israel and say, don't worry, we want to be friends with you, we want to have partnership with you, we want to join the Abraham Accords, and genuinely do a deal with Israel, what will the Arab countries say? They'll have a problem with that, right?
You know what? I don't know. I don't know.
They will have a problem with that. Excuse me. They will. Oh, I will tell you right now, this is not the first time. During the reign of Reza Pahlavi the Shah, he had good working relations with Israel. This is what the Israelis are looking for. The Israelis are even telling Iran, come and unite with us. We are all minorities. You guys are Persians. You guys are mostly Shia. The people in the region don't like you. Come and let's work together. That's what they have been saying. And when the leadership in Iran came to power in 1979, they abandoned it. They said, no, we want to integrate more in the region. We want the Arabs in the region to accept us. Therefore, we are going to champion the Palestinian cause. And this is where they lost Israel. You talk about Hezbollah. Israel could have accommodated that. Israel could have accommodated even their presence in Iraq. It is the support for Palestine that is the main thing that Israelis are angry against. And look at what is happening today. I see Palestinians siding with Israel to bomb Iran.
Yeah, you know what though? You can't really generalize that because if you remember from the 12-day war, there were plenty Palestinians cheering the strikes on Tel Aviv. Am I right or am I wrong?
What strikes on Tel Aviv?
In the 12-day war.
Who struck Tel Aviv? You're not listening to me. The story is now. You're talking about, excuse me, you're not listening. I'm talking about now and comparing it with before 79. I'm saying that put all those differences aside and all what happened in Tel Aviv and so on and so forth. If Iran goes today and shake the hand of Israel, what will these countries now claim they are fighting against? Against Iran? Are they willing to challenge Israel? None of them. They're cowards. The Saudis are going to challenge Israel? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If Israel is good, and Israel is going against their interests, by the way, Israel is working with the UAE to control Yemen. And this is why the Saudis struck. If push comes to shove, the Israelis will bombard and destroy Saudi Arabia. And then you are working behind instead of focusing on building yourself. I don't see the Saudis building technology. They are buying everything from abroad. Most of the things you see today, the Iranians built it themselves in 40 years of sanctions. The Saudis have all this largesse, they have all this money. They are not thinking about technological advancement. They send their children abroad and they have fun, go to night parties and have threesome, have fun. They have all this money. You go abroad in America, all the Saudi children are there. They're giving them pocket money of $50,000 every month or whatever. They have fun. They go to parties and do shrugs and like, satisfy their fetish and so on and so forth. This is what they're doing. It's not a weird way. This is the hard fact.
Hold on a second. So you're saying that the people in the diaspora are not hardworking people working in the Western world, thriving, arguably thriving, right? You're saying that they're all going around doing drugs, having threesomes. That's a very interesting take. See, this is what I mean when the propaganda machine is falling apart.
No, you're not listening to me. I'm talking about the children of the Saudi oligarchs that we inherit power from their parents. They have gone to the West. They've seen that, this is everything I'm saying is on point. Do you know like what the behavior of some of these Saudi children in America and Canada? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You think we don't hear these stories? You think we don't know what is happening?
I don't know what you're hearing, but it sounds like a lot of propaganda.
You say it's propaganda? Again, I told you before when I talked to these Canadians that eat ice and whatever. There's nothing I can get out because you don't understand the region. You don't. And I don't understand it as much as well, but I do understand something about the region.
If you're talking about the Saudis and what they do with like the whole pooping on each other's chests and stuff, Is that what you're talking about?
Oh, that's part of it. The Emiratis are doing it as well. These are the Gulf.
You're talking about like the billionaires?
Oh, I'm talking about the children of the elites. That's what again, you're not listening.
Right.
You say it's propaganda. You're not listening to me. I say Saudi.
People of every ethnicity of the elite.
I'm very specific about the Gulf countries.
People.
I'm talking about Gulf countries. A good number of them send their children. They have money. They send their children to elite schools abroad, and they engage in these activities. And when they come back to inherit power, they now have this sort of mindset. And I'm also going further to tell you that again. I'm also going further to.
Happens in Nigeria, does it not?
Yeah. The topic of discussion is the Middle East. Stay focused. Stay focused. Stay focused. So why are these guys teaming up against Iran, destroying Iran? Because they are very short-sighted and emotional about their thinking.
Simple, because the IRGC made an enemy out of everybody.
Who?
The IRGC made an enemy out of everybody in the region.
The IRGC provided money and support and even financial and military assistance to the Palestinians.
Right, right.
And when I look at them celebrating, that is heartbreaking.
They tore apart Lebanon. They tore apart Yemen. Yeah, we know.
Oh, who tore apart Yemen? The Saudis went to Yemen and unalive over 350,000 people with their coalition. You say it is Iran. You're saying that. Excuse me. You're saying Iran did it. Iran for 7 years, Saudi Arabia bombarded the shit out of that country. You are saying it is Iran did not put one man on the ground in Yemen. What are you talking about?
Did they ship weapons there?
You are saying so again. You are playing this game again. So are you now? You're now propagating for the Saudis. This is crazy. He's now a propagandist for the Saudis. This is insane.